You're listening to the Dore Report, presented by the Crow's Nest of Green Hills, with Billy Derrick and Cameron Bond, the premier podcast for all Vanderbilt fans across the country.
Good evening, Vanderbilt fans. Welcome into the second edition of the Dore Report, presented by Alaco Hardwood Flooring. Cameron Bond is not with us today because we had a little bit of technical difficulties here lately with the program. I am actually down here reporting live from Naples, Florida, on the campus of Ave Maria University. Beautiful campus, and its first week of school has gone great, so everything's perfectly fine down here in Naples, Florida. For the folks up in Nashville on West End, Vanderbilt is opening their season this Saturday, tomorrow, against MTSU, and it's going to be a fun atmosphere in Nashville at Vanderbilt Stadium. If you're looking for someone trustworthy and reliable to apply new hardwood flooring, look no further than the folks at Alaco Hardwood Flooring. Jimmy Alaco and his staff is the best in town and will get your job done in a heartbeat no matter what style you're going for. You can trust your flooring job to Alaco Hardwood Flooring. Take a walk through the woods in your home every day. Get your job started today. For more information, log on to alacohardwoodflooring.com or call 615-356-0303. That's 615-356-0303. Once again, welcome into another edition of the Dore Report, presented by Alaco Hardwood Flooring. As I already mentioned, Vanderbilt and MTSU will play tomorrow night, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 kickoff Eastern Time, so it'll be 7:30 down here in Naples, and cannot wait. It's going to be a fun atmosphere, I think. It should be a decent crowd. This matchup has been great for the Middle Tennessee community, and I think a lot of people will be showing out for it. So you got a great quarterback matchup between Kyle Shermer and Brent Stockstill. Rick Stockstill and Brent Stockstill. This is their last go-round together. They've been together the past 4 years. But each quarterback is a 4-year starter. So this is going to be a really fun quarterback matchup. Derek Mason has been talking. He's been raving about these two quarterbacks. He thinks Brent Stockstill is one of the best in the country, and we all know how good Kyle Shermer is. So should be fun to watch that quarterback matchup. And let's go ahead and get into the official depth chart. Vanderbilt released their depth chart for Week 1 versus MTSU a few days ago. Obviously, starting at quarterback is Kyle Shermer. Kari Blasingame or Keyshawn Vaughn or Jamari Wakefield are listed at the running back position. And there's also two other guys, Josh Crawford and Javion Marlowe. Marlowe will actually probably not see the field until Week 3 against Notre Dame. So Marlowe actually was banged up, as Coach Mason said. So cannot wait to see those running backs play. They got a great stable of backs. Blasingame, Vaughn, Wakefield, and Crawford will be getting all the carries against MTSU tomorrow night, and it's going to be fun to watch. I really, when you look at this running back group, this is easily the best Mason's ever had, maybe the best Vanderbilt football has ever had. And I'm being legitimately serious. I mean, Vanderbilt typically has one solid running back every year. You know, you had Zach Stacy, Jerron Seymour, Ralph Webb, and probably now that guy is going to become Keyshawn Vaughn. Could take a couple games for him to get adjusted to the speed of the game, because just simply because he hasn't played in a whole season. So maybe you could see Blasingame get the bulk of the carries tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting, though. I mean, you got a bulk of running backs there that you can hand the ball off to at any time. And Mason said he's going to go with the hot guy. He's going to go, whoever's been running the best. And, they got a lot of options. So it should be fun to watch there. The fullback is Jair George, the son of Eddie George. We all know, we all remember that name very well. Wide receiver, Kalijah Lipscomb, CJ Bowler, and Cam Johnson. At the other wide receiver spot, Chris Pierce, who Mason has raved about throughout fall camp, Trey Ellis, and then Donovan Tennyson. So lots of depth at receiver as well. An interesting tidbit, though, Alex Stump, transfer from Ohio State, had to sit out last year. He's not on the depth chart. And Mason basically said he's not on the depth chart because of all the depth at that position. So, again, you have Kalijah Lipscomb and Chris Pierce, the two starting receivers, and then you got a lot of depth behind them. CJ Bowler, Cam Johnson, Trey Ellis, and Donovan Tennyson. So Tennyson and Johnson, I think, will be used in similar ways. They're very similar players, not very big, but they've got speed. And Tennyson and Johnson are going to be dangerous weapons for this Vanderbilt offense. Trey Ellis is sort of the veteran presence in the group, and Lipscomb is obviously the best. CJ Bowler is a young, upcoming player. Chris Pierce He got a lot of raw talent. See what he can do this year. It'll start tomorrow night against MTSU at tight end. A lot of depth at tight end as well. Jared Pinkney and Sam Dobbs in that position. Left tackle Justin School. Left guard Cole Clemens or Sage Young, whichever one steps up there. Center will be solidified this year. Egidio De Aripa. Right guard Bruno Reagan and right tackle Devin Cochran. I really like the right side of that line with big Bruno Reagan, veteran guy, fifth-year senior. And then you also have the biggest lineman, Devin Cochran, one of the biggest linemen Vanderbilt's ever had. So cannot wait to watch Keyshawn Vaughn and those running backs run right behind the right side of that offensive line, behind Reagan and Cochran. Riley Guay will be the kicker. Parker Tome will be the punter. He will also be the kicker, the kickoff guy. So should be interesting there. Defensive line, Dio Odengbo. Cameron Tidd, you got Luis Vicio, also there. Vecchio he's a great player, transfer from Penn. Defensive lineman as well, Dore Report. So just listen to these names: Dio Odengbo, Luis Vecchio, Cade Miley, Cameron Tidd, Drew Birchmeyer, Josiah Seau, Dore Report, Rutger Reitmeyer, and Stone Edwards. So again, depth there. Whether or not it's proven depth it remains a question. But we will see how that goes tomorrow night. Outside linebacker Charles Wright, Caleb Peart, and Kenny Abair. Inside linebacker Jordan Griffin, Dimitri Moore, and Alston Orji. Also at inside linebacker Colin Anderson, Braden DeVault Smith, and Andrew Rector. At outside linebacker Josh Smith, Andrew Mincy, and Michael Owusu. So depth on the outside, not as much depth on the inside, and not as much experience either. I think Orji is going to have to play this year just because of the lack of experience there at that position. Cornerback position, Donovan Sheffield. It says Sheffield or Randall Haney on the depth chart, but Sheffield will be starting. Ladarius Wiley and Max Worship taking the free safety snaps. Frank Coppin and Tate Daly taking the strong safety snaps. We'll get to the Zaire Jones news here in a moment. The other corner spot, obviously, Jawan Williams. He is a mainstay there this year. Look, I expect huge things out of Mr. Jawan Williams this year. Cannot wait to see the kind of show he puts on. The punt returner will be Trey Ellis. Kalijah Lipscomb and Cam Johnson will also get reps at that position. Kick returning duties will go to Jamari Wakefield and Josh Crawford. Both two guys who don't have extremely good speed, but they're sure-handed catchers and they're going to make the right decisions. So this isn't some sort of Darius Sims type of thing where there's always a threat for him to take it all the way back. It's just sort of catching the ball and getting as many yards as you can and making the smart decision. I think Crawford could, take a few back, but Wakefield should be the one catching the majority of the kickoff. So there you have it, the depth chart for the 2018 Commodores squad. And now it's time to get to some of the breaking news this past week. Zaire Jones was suspended for week 1 versus MTSU following an arrest after the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert in Nashville. The roads were closed. It was a crazy night. Vanderbilt coach Derek Mason announced this past week on Tuesday that Zaire Jones, the player many presumed would start at strong safety for the Commodores this year, will not play against MTSU tomorrow night following an arrest on aggravated assault charges. Mason said Jones will be held out due to disciplinary reasons. Davidson County Criminal Court clerk records indicate that Jones was arrested on August 23rd on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So he's a couple occurrences here for Zaire Jones. I did hear that he just he was in his car. He drove softly, sort of not banged into, but hit a police with his car. It was softly though. So probably nothing serious. He said hopefully he has a court date, as we mentioned. So maybe he'll be back week 4. That's going to be a huge loss for the week 3 game against Notre Dame. But Zaire Jones, a guy who I think is very talented. He showed out towards the end of last year. I was looking forward to seeing him play early in the year, but he's not because of some bad decisions. So Zaire Jones is out for the Commodores. Really short podcast here. We're going to go ahead and close it out with my predictions for this game tomorrow night, MTSU and Vanderbilt. Once again, 6:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff in Nashville. Again, should be a fun game. I think the key to this one is the quarterback play, because you got a guy like Kyle Shermer on Vanderbilt's team who isn't a game manager anymore. This is a guy who he's been to 2 Manning passing academies the past 2 summers. He's got weapons around him with Kalijah Lipscomb, C.J. Bowler, Chris Pierce, Jared Pinkney. He's got a stable of running backs behind him who should be able to support him. He's got all 5 starters back on the offensive line. So everything is there for Shurmur. I think it's all up to him to see what kind of production he has this year and what kind of year he could have. So I think that the X factor in this game is whatever quarterback performs better. If Shurmur throws for 300 yards, Vanderbilt should win this game because Vanderbilt's defense is going to try to bring some different looks into Brent Stockstill in that offense. They, as we all know, MTSU does a great job of getting their playmakers in space. They got a great playmaker in Ty Lee, Anderson at running back, so they have weapons. It's going to be tough for this Vanderbilt defense to stop. They're not going to stop them. They can only hope to contain this MTSU offense. So Stockstill, last go around with his dad, they're not going to want to go out the wrong way. So they're going to want to go out with a bang here against Vanderbilt, his last chance to play Vanderbilt in Nashville prime time on a Saturday night on the SEC network to open the college football season. This is a fun way to open the season. Great for the Middle Tennessee community. I have Vanderbilt winning by 2 touchdowns, 34-24 by 10. Let's have Vanderbilt win by 10, 34-24. Vanderbilt scores a late touchdown to close the game out. And that's how I see this game happening. I think it's 28-21 in the fourth quarter. Defense is performing pretty well. You could see a lot of fireworks tomorrow night in Nashville if you go to that game at Vanderbilt Stadium. So again, I have Vanderbilt winning 34-24 final tomorrow night in Nashville. I cannot wait. Some of the things I can't wait to watch. First off, I can't wait to see Keyshawn Vaughn run the ball. He hasn't played football in a year, transfer from Illinois. He's finally ready. The humble savage is ready to be released from his cage, and I can't wait to see Keyshawn Vaughn run the ball. I also can't wait to see this whole entire Vanderbilt offense because you look at this offense, five extremely talented running backs. You have 2 proven receivers with Kalijah Lipscomb and Chris Pierce. You also have depth there with Donovan Tennyson and Cam Johnson with the jet sweeps. You also have great tight ends, Jared Pinkney, Sam Dobbs, proven guys. Pinkney should have an explosive year this year. You got a great fullback, Jair George, all 5 starters back on the offensive line. What more do you need for a great offense? I mean, that says it all right there. Can't wait to watch this Vanderbilt offense. I'm also interested to see what Jason Tarver has under his sleeves for this new look Vanderbilt defense. It's not necessarily a new look, but it's sort of a revamped, energized defense because Tarver, hopefully they can produce a lot more turnovers, and that's going to give the offense the ball, a dangerous Vanderbilt offense. We have not really been able to say that very often, other than maybe the end of last season. And a couple of years ago as well when they beat Ole Miss and Tennessee. But an explosive Vanderbilt offense I think you can expect for this year. So once again, I've got Vanderbilt beating MTSU 34-24 by 10. Tune into the game tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff on the SEC Network in Nashville. Cannot wait to watch that one and all the other college football matchups. You've been listening to the Dore Report presented by Alaco Hardwood Flooring.